Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. Halo has given us some of the most iconic weapons in gaming, from the Magnum to the Energy Sword, but for every legendary weapon that stayed in the spotlight, there are others that have fallen by the wayside. Today we're taking a look at 5 forgotten Halo weapons that deserve way more love than they ever got, and there's a special bonus entry. Remember, if you love Halo content, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to hit 25,000 subs at some point in my life. That would be very cool. All you got to do to help me is just sub. That's it. That's all. It's free.
Push the goddamn button!
If you end up hating me in like 6 months, you can unsubscribe and I'll go cry. So without further ado, let's dive in. Let's start with a weapon that isn't exactly unknown, but the original version has definitely been overshadowed. And we're talking about the M90 shotgun. This beast was a 12-gauge pump-action shotgun designed to stop the Flood combat forms dead in their tracks. In Halo CE and in Halo 2, it had crazy stopping power up close, making it the go-to panic button for anyone who hated the popcorn Flood. In multiplayer, it was one of my favorite weapons to use, not because it was overpowered, but because you had to strategically use it, get close up on your enemies, get the drop on them, and then shotgun and melee them. Over the years, the M90 has gotten swapped out for sleeker models, and while those variants are still fun, they don't have the same bulky industrial feel that the original had. Even with Halo Infinite, the Bulldog just doesn't hold a candle to the original. The M90 was way less tactical shotgun and way more a sledgehammer with shells. Forgotten, maybe, but never outclassed. I am happy to see with the recent Helldivers update, this shotgun is getting some more love once again. Next up, we have the grenade launcher that was introduced in Halo Reach. And at first glance, it looks like a simple one-shot grenade tube. Some would argue that it's underpowered, and others would say it's overpowered. This thing had depth. It technically had a detonator control. You could fire it normally for an impact explosion, or hold the trigger to cook the round, and you could release it to detonate it mid-air or as a trap. It really did feel like a skill-based version of the noob tube from Call of Duty. Lore-wise, it was designed by Mizraia Armory as a flexible anti-infantry and anti-vehicle weapon, and while it did make a comeback in Halo 5, we haven't seen it since. To me, there was nothing like bouncing grenades around corners and baiting opponents into a well-timed boom. Here's a behind-the-scenes editing moment. I have been wondering if I should use those dudes from like New Jersey that scream boom, 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 5 big booms or whatever, and for that like boom thing. So maybe I will, maybe I won't, I don't know. These are the things that I have to think about as a YouTuber. At number 3, we have the focus rifle. The Covenant had plenty of beam weapons, but none quite like the focus rifle. It was basically an alien cousin of the sniper rifle, but not really. Instead of one, high-powered shot, it fired a continuous beam of energy. In gameplay, it meant you had a weapon that rewarded tracking aim instead of single-shot precision. Something that I think with the combination of Halo being played on PC and consoles now could have a spotlight in the sandbox. This thing could absolutely melt shields if you kept the beam locked on, and quite honestly, I love the design. But despite being stylish, it didn't really have the punch that players wanted. Compared to the sniper rifle or the beam rifle, the focus rifle felt weaker. Still, I really do miss this gun. It's my special little alien death ray. At number 2, I think we have a fan favorite, and that is the sticky detonator. Kind of similar to the grenade launcher that we talked about earlier, but different enough. This bad boy came out with Halo 4, and is one of the most fun weapons I think I've ever used in a Halo sandbox. You fire a shot, it sticks to a surface or a vehicle, and then click, you choose when it explodes. It was perfect for setting traps and blowing up warthogs, or slapping a charge directly onto an enemy Spartan before they even realized what was happening. In-universe, it was designed by Mizraia for demolitions work, but in multiplayer, this thing was pure chaos fuel. But despite the creativity, it vanished. I think maybe it was considered too gimmicky, or maybe the balancing for remote explosives has been a nightmare. But either way, I still see people talking about this weapon, and how unique it felt. Now we have the bonus entry, and it is the Spartan Laser. I couldn't end this list without mentioning it. This thing was terrifying. Kind of like the focus rifle, only it was like the Death Star in a gun. It fired a focus beam of directed energy capable of just melting vehicles in a single shot. Warthogs, Banshees, even Scorpions and Wraiths could be gone in seconds. And that iconic charging sound, every player in the lobby knew they were about to have a very, very bad day if they were in a vehicle. Lore-wise, it was developed as part of the Spartan Laser Weapon System program and was supposed to give Spartans a portable anti-vehicle solution. It was insanely powerful, but they tried to balance it by giving it a limited battery and a long charge-up time. Some would argue not long enough. Now in Halo Infinite, the Spartan Laser is nowhere to be found. And with weapons like the Skewer attempting to fill that niche, it's almost like the laser's been retired. But still, it's one of the most iconic power weapons Halo has ever had. A sandbox-defining tool that could turn the tide of a match with just a few pulls of the trigger. Forgotten, maybe. Legendary, absolutely in my opinion. And finally, that brings us to number 1. And that is the Flamethrower. I cannot say that this thing was overpowered, but for some reason it just holds a special place in my heart. I don't even think I was ever that good with it. I think I played like Halo 3 and tried to get overkills, and it just never happened. I believe it's been described as a heavy support weapon and was supposed to create mayhem in enclosed spaces, but I don't think that ever happened. In terms of lore, it was just standard UNSC equipment, and it was particularly effective against the Flood, but in multiplayer, it was just bulky, it was slow, and basically you had a massive shoot at me sign, and you could also pit roast yourself if you weren't careful. But despite all of that, to me, it's one of the most memorable weapons from Halo's history, and deserves way more love than it gets. So those are 5 of Halo's most forgotten weapons: the shotgun, the grenade launcher, the focus rifle, the sticky detonator, the flamethrower, and of course the Spartan Laser. Each one brought something unique to the sandbox, even if they didn't stick around. But what about you? Which of these weapons do you miss the most? And if you could bring one back for Halo Infinite or beyond, which one would you choose? Drop your thoughts in the comments down below, and let's talk about it. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more Halo content, and I'll catch you next time. Peace!